Our Sweet 16 series featured the best ideas and thoughts for 2016, but there are still more great ideas that made our honorable mention. Here are comments from more industry professionals on regulation.
Has an obligation to protect its citizenry, to regulate things that happen within its borders. Okay. The things that are going to happen, though, are going to be in the ether. They're not going to be in the pits in Chicago. All right? They're going to be floating around, and the government won't let them happen and evolve as quickly as they can, not because they want to stop it, but because they can't get their legal head around what authority do I have to reach.
You got CFTC guidance on automated trading. You have Reg SCI starting to come into play. You have MiFID II. You have the action with the treasuries. There's review on treasuries and trading. I think FX will be into that. So for me, it's not Bitcoin. It's not any blockchain stuff for the Fed. It's really regulation is going to drive really change and behavior now and for the next several years.
Well, particularly in risk and how the top level of the regulatory agency, the CFTC, for example, is going to look at and monitor all the FCMs to make sure that they are in compliance with the Dodd-Frank rules, as well as the FCMs themselves will know what their requirements are going to be conversely, so they can go ahead and set up their own businesses accordingly and know that they can go forward on a clear path without any confusion. The lowering cost of technology per se, the amount of computing power that's available on some of these newer processors is really opening up the ability for software to do much, much more in the same amount of time. So to be able to look at all these different factors of limits, position limits, how close is a customer getting to these certain limits, any kind of risk profile that you can set up for a particular client. If they start approaching and breaking some of these thresholds, you can get these alerts live and take very precautionary measures. You can go in and you can talk to this customer, you can shut them down if needed, just to protect the firm from any kind of risk exposure from even hitting them, as opposed to looking at it post-trade or after the fact.
With all of the regulatory changes that are going on at the moment, what will happen is there will be a lot of pain with respect to the implementation, but what we're looking for is the gain as well with respect to opportunities. We will also look to invest in a specialist fintech venture capital fund, and again the process behind that is looking at ways in which we can see deal flow, understand where the changes are coming, not necessarily directly invest ourselves, but actually work with those firms, but then leverage those ideas so that we can actually use the regulatory changes to our benefit, and hopefully obviously to the benefit of the member community that we have as well.
You've got the CFTC already talking about Reg AT, whatever that might be, automated trading, and I think they're looking at MiFID II and looking at what is going on there around the regulations in terms of automated trading, and I suspect what you're going to start seeing is some rulemaking or at least discussion papers about things that they want to pull back into the United States. Hopefully we see a little bit of cross-border cooperation, less head knocking, and maybe what we can actually do is leverage some of the stuff that's going on in Europe into the US, hopefully keep that kind of cost burden a little bit lower, so that we can all go ahead and make some money.